Welcome to Red Light, Green Light, the podcast where you'll hear from industry leaders in science, technology, and innovation about the power of strategic storytelling. With decades of experience, our guests will share their own insights and real-world stories to help you avoid red light barriers and ignite green light solutions, from the Zoom room to the boardroom. In each episode, we'll corkscrew downward into the guests' personal experiences of challenge and success, highlighting strategies that turn complex ideas into clear, compelling storylines for stakeholders. Here is where expert minds share stories that shape the future. What's more, you'll walk away with tips to try immediately to drive the vision of innovation with your team. Here is where expert minds share stories that shape the future. What's more, you'll walk away with tips to try immediately that drive the vision of innovation with your team. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Red Light, Green Light. I'm your host, Cindy Skalicki, and I am bringing you such a cool episode today. Buckle up. This is going to be so much fun. We are going to play and play and innovate and play. And my guest today is the amazing Sura Al-Naimi, right? As I say it right, Sura?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Sura and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and I was so blown away by some of the cool stuff she does, which she is going to demonstrate this morning and this afternoon, whenever you're listening. But Sura is the CEO of HiHelloSura, and she does work in innovation and creativity mindset making, right? She's got a consultancy where she helps teams discover their innovation potential, but in a super cool way. So we kind of have a cooking show moment going on here. I told Sura I would be her guinea pig as she walks through a question that's for me, kind of, but I want everyone listening and watching to think about how you would go through this type of moment with Sura. But before we get to the fun, playful part, Sura, just tell us how you got into this whole thing and give us a quick intro.
Oh, yes, I can do like a warp speed intro. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Yes, I fell into innovation quite by accident because somebody said, if you're walking in the forest, would you rather stay on the path or would you like to meander off the path and explore? And I said, oh my gosh, I love exploring. And they said, well, then why don't you just join this innovation company? And it was just like that. And so working in new product, new service development in England, as you can tell from my accent.
Yes.
And then also I came over to the States to work for startups because I said, why not? And so everything from 3D printed jewelry back in 2006 to technology for car dealers. And I think, you can kind of get a vibe that the versatility of this toolkit, can be anything from a 3-people team to like a multi-million, et cetera, company.
Yes.
And so, it's just a lot of curiosity. And I had a chance to work in-house at Disney at that innovation think tank.
You did, yes.
And so, working with all the teams and, the thread is really getting individuals to think differently together and unlock all the answers that are already in them to have big impact. So whatever the challenge is, I always think of it as a homeopathic doctor. It's very holistic. And so whatever the opportunity is, it's like, let's get to the root of the opportunity and then let's make some great things occur, whatever that is for your particular situation.
I love it.
That's a warp speed,
That is perfect. I love the warp speed, and we'll put your bio in the notes for the show to begin with. But I think what attracted me so much to this whole concept, for one, is just my own way of learning, which is usually definitely visual over like audio, and then tactile and experiential takes it to a completely different level. And I do know that play and innovation through play disarms us from the logical brain, at least in a certain sense of needing to like win or be competitive in an argument. And it opens up new centers of our brain from a neurological perspective, which is so powerful and necessary for ideation and innovation, period, but especially in the workplace. So Let's jump in. Are we ready? Let's maybe give us a tour of what people
Sure.
can see
Let's,
on the
yeah,
screen, and then I'll
let's
let
do
you
it.
have at it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you bring up that play is really the disarmer, right? To be able
Yeah.
to unlock, right?
Yep.
And so it's a pattern disrupt neurologically, and it
Yep.
gets us into a different state. And then, everything, the doorway to our subconscious is open. And then we're like, oh, what's up? What's going on in there? And a lot of the time in these work settings, it can be tough because the pressure is on. And so
Mm-hmm.
how do we do the opposite of what we're feeling, is to be
Mm-hmm.
relaxed and to really
Mm-hmm.
invite that. And there's lots of different ways to do it. And this is one modality. This is out of Spain. So this is
Okay.
called Pro Play. And this is a methodology that was developed by Juan Prego in Madrid. And,
Okay.
whether you're using it for coaching or creative problem solving or design thinking or the versatility of it is incredible. And the ability for it to unlock insights has just sort of blown my mind. So I've been using this
Mm-hmm.
for a year and a half now. And it's sort
Mm-hmm.
of like, it's always in my bag. It's there at dinners. I'll pull it out and people are like, whoa, what's going on?
I love it. What are we
And I'm like,
doing? Yes.
so, tell me more. So I'm going to talk you through just, a really simple framework, but a really powerful one that, your listeners can think of. And,
Okay.
you mentioned the tactile. So if we were here in person, you would have all
Oh, yeah.
range to play with all of this. But it's going to be like Ratatouille. I'm going to be, like you'll tell me where to go and I'll put things in places, if
Okay.
that's all right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. And for those of you who are maybe listening only, go find our YouTube channel, which is where you'll see what's happening here. But basically, Sura's got a little game board with a bunch of small people, 3D
Yes.
little people, and then some little cool toys that she'll describe so you can get a
Yes.
picture of it in your brain. But yeah.
Yes. So if you've ever played with Playmobil, it's kind of like those kind of figures, but the models, which are the human figures, if you will, they're just plain white. So they're a
Yes.
canvas that you could
Nothing
draw
on.
on or add things to. And then we have elements, which is just basically everything under the sun that you could imagine exists in the world. And so
Right.
it's available. Yeah. So these are the models and the elements. So yeah, let's kick it off. So
Yeah.
what I'm going to invite you to do, Cindy, is to think of a particular challenge that you're having at the moment or opportunity. And then I'd love for you to model it using one model and three elements. And that's basically your present day situation.
Okay. Well, I like both of those words with opportunity and challenge. And the thing that comes to mind most swiftly is the book launch that we are working on, and the team has been working on so much, which is sort of what this whole podcast is designed to help people see, right? Our book is called Red Light, Green Light, and it's to help leaders in innovation learn how to get their audiences of stakeholders from the red light of risk to the green light of go. And by the time this airs, we will probably have just launched the book. And so, yeah, it's an opportunity
That's
to
amazing.
help other people understand the model that I built at scale. So that would be my opportunity.
Hmm.
And the challenge is that I've never launched a book before, and it's been kind of hard.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
wonderful, but it's been a challenge, one that I've accepted, and I'm excited.
Wonderful. That's a great place to start. So now, let the elements that you see here inspire how you bring to life your challenge and opportunity. So whatever speaks to you, it doesn't really need to make sense. It only needs to make sense to you. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
this one
I'll
of your
go with
models. Yes.
yeah. You can use me, just stick me in the center there. I like the wizard hat that you named.
Oh, yes.
I want my readers to feel like wizards once they read the book. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the impetus for using the wizard hat. And sure, I'll take claim that I had a wizard idea, right? That this
Yes.
innovative idea and way of thinking about messaging it is indeed unique. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's my one piece for that wizard
Hmm.
hat.
Hmm. And so, what's your opportunity or challenge? What are three elements that would depict you today, currently? Because you mentioned that it's tough. It's always tough to do something new. So, what are some elements to
Mhm.
bring that to life here in the present day? And think of this as your
Okay.
present day right here.
Okay. I'll maybe grab that big horned instrument because I have to cut through noise, Surah.
Yes.
My
Yes.
message about the book has to cut through noise. So there's a lot of noise out there. I'm also trying to reach people who are in that chair, like the executive seat. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be a good one to pick as far
Mm-hmm.
as people who are my target for that. And then I would say the challenge or opportunity is that I need to create consistency. So I don't know if there's anything back there that would. I'm looking at the skateboard. What is that in your hand?
Just like
Is
a
that
little package, like a package. Just
Yeah,
here.
like frequent. I was thinking of the skateboard because
Yeah.
it's smooth, like
Mm-hmm.
it's something that if you
Mm-hmm.
ride it smoothly,
There we are.
um, yeah,
You're on
you
the
kind of want
skateboard
it to.
now.
Yeah, great. Those are my three.
Oh, I love that. Okay, perfect. So then let's do some time travel. So, strap
Great.
in and let's
Yes.
imagine that, you're in the future and this book launch is a roaring success.
Yeah.
So let's pick three elements over here for your future state.
Oh, would definitely want that. The lifesaver, the buoy, or wait, yeah,
This one?
no, that guy. Yeah,
Yes.
what's it called? The
Uh, yeah, like
the life
lifesaver. Yeah, like
the
a buoy.
lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I
Okay.
yeah, I want people to see the book as a life-saving moment from,
Mm-hmm.
failing their messaging. Now they know how to nail their messaging. So I want
Yes.
the book to produce the feeling that um, I've thrown them a lifeline.
There it is. Yes.
There
What
it is.
else? What are other couple of elements?
What else? Can you name a few things over there
Sure,
in the corner?
there's a surfboard, there's a crown, there's a bicycle, there's like nuggets of money, there's a cowboy hat, there's some fire, there's milk, there's
Oh,
a robot, there's
oh,
a camera.
yeah, let's do the fire because I want people to feel on fire about their message and their ability to deliver their messages with power and
Hmm.
fire as they move forward and to feel that they've, yeah, I guess put the money there because I want people who learn this model to understand that they're going to save money from a perspective of their organization. They're going to get money if they're looking for investment. Even if it's not money, it's value. It's going to add
Mm,
value to their their visionary work, whatever that might be, whether it's a nonprofit, um, whatever it is, it's going to add value.
amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this book to come out. I need to read
Me
it.
either. You're gonna get my yeah. I'm getting so excited. It'll
Yeah.
be great. Hmm.
Okay, so we're going to try and travel again, but this time we're going to go into the past and we're going to think of a time where you had a challenge in the past. And it doesn't have to be anything related, it can be any sphere of life. And let's think of that challenge that you overcame. And then what did it take to overcome that challenge? So I would love a couple of elements for the resources that you had to hand to overcome the challenge. And then I would
Mm.
love what's a couple of things that you had to let go of in order to overcome that challenge?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, uh, okay. The challenge I overcame was surviving the pandemic. That on point communication survived the pandemic, even though I tried to stop the business and go look for a full-time job. Like I actually tried to hang up my hat and quit. And I
Mm,
went looking and interviewed for other positions elsewhere. So I'd say that the clock would be relevant because I had to take time to think and listen to myself and what the market was eventually asking of me, which was don't quit. We still have more work to do, kind of a thing. And then there's a person I'd put there. Maybe
mhm,
if there's a man or a
mhm,
boy, there would be
mhm,
somebody. His name is David Newman, who is the person I ended up uh, kind of joining forces with to help me um, think of new ways to scale on point so it could survive and thrive and reach higher levels. So that's something that I did. And you know what? That construction cone in the back that I see, that is just my maybe realization that I was able, thankfully, to identify that this was just a bump in the road of On Point, not the end of the road. So a construction cone visually says, warning, go around this bump if you're driving, right? So I guess, whereas I thought I should kind of stop the business and hang up my hat, I learned through listening and thinking through it, it was just a bump, thankfully.
Great. So that's a belief that you got to let go of in order to move forward. So that's something that you got to let go of. Yes.
I did get to let go of that.
And then the timing, and it sounds like a really good partnership was some of the resources in order to get to present day. So
wait,
so
Sarah,
then,
I have to know, like, am I doing this right? Is this
of
going the way
course,
it's supposed to go?
yes. Oh, I love that you asked. It's all right. And I think that's what's so exciting, is that this is your mental model. This is your representation. So, I mean, quite frankly, you could have picked up any of these objects and they would be perfectly aligned because you chose them and they have a specific meaning to you. I've had this happen where somebody picked up one of these, but it was closed and it had some bubbles inside. And they said, "Oh, this is my daughter." And the other person said, "Oh, is that a bottle of wine?" And they said, "No, this is the trophy that she wins when she does sports."
Oh, it's like a big gold cup. Yeah, I love it.
Right.
So
And
it can just
so it could
be
be anything, exactly.
whatever it
And so
is.
that's why sort of like having you share your interpretation is so important, because obviously my association with these objects is going to be completely different to yours. And I think that's what makes it so powerful.
Yep. Love it.
So then let's think of one mentor that we're talking about going forward. And I know that your listeners often have multiple stakeholders. So if you could think of a mentor that you would want to talk to get some advice from for, your future state, and your mentor could be real or fictitious. So it's up to you. I've had somebody choose Glenda, the witch, in a last session we had last week. So honestly, it could be anybody. So so who would you like to be your mentor? What comes to your mind?
For someone who's like, who I would like call when I need to phone a friend. Is that the kind of
Exactly right.
yeah,
And again, it could be it's your counsel. So it could be real or fictitious,
for sure. Well, the first person who's coming to my mind is actually a good friend and my first boss ever. And my audience who knows me and has followed knows her. Ann Dooley is her name. And she was my boss when I first got into the professional world. And I actually just had lunch with her last week in Chicago. She's been a powerful advocate and trusted advisor.
Amazing. So I'm going to have her as a figure right here. And then you two are going to have a conversation. And then as you're having the conversation, aloud or in your mind, what are a couple of elements that she is sharing with you that kind of symbolize what she's sharing with you?
Can you just name for me a few of those? I see a surfboard, a bike, a cup, a package. What else is there?
A tire, a pickaxe, a rucksack, a crutch, a carton of milk, some playing cards, a camera, and a loudspeaker, to kind of get through.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's grab the speaker.
Okay.
What's the prompt, Sura, again?
So as you're having this conversation with her, what's a couple of elements that resemble the advice that she's sharing with you? So I'm imagining that the speaker is one of them. And then what's another one?
That speaker, that actual speaker, is definitely something I've heard from Anne as far as the need, that her belief that I really need to get this message out and to get the story out, and that she's been such a champion of me from the time I was in my mid to my early to mid 20s, suggesting that, I had a lot to say in the world, and that she's also endorsed the book and shared why that is still true in her opinion. So that's definitely something she's championed. So that's one thing. What else? I'd say the knapsack is a great thing because she knows how much I love to travel, and that she would want me to travel to speak. So actually that's both things at once. Like,
Great.
she would say, yeah, take this message and travel with it and bring it to other people. And one more
That's
thing.
plenty. The two is plenty. So then,
Okay.
as you reflect on, the resources that you had used in the past, and the things that you had to shed and let go of, and also the conversation that you just had with your mentor, what are some resources that you could bring um, into today to get you to your future, and what is something that you need to let go of today in order to get to your future? And it could be exactly the same things that you just identified, or these conversations might inspire something else. I could literally bring certain things over here, or I can change them out.
I would say I probably have to let go of a crutch of some kind. And I'm not
Mm,
sure what that is. Maybe it's the perfection, any feelings of that things have to be completely perfect before I fill in the blank, right? Like, there's going to be a missing period somewhere in the book or whatever it might be, right? There's going to be
right.
something that goes wrong. And so we want to let go of that.
Hmm.
And then I would say, the camera should probably go there because, I'm a person who isn't shy when it comes to the camera, and it might be a good medium for me to use to share more about the book and to try to be more visible with the message as we launch the book and cascade into our 10-year anniversary of On Point this fall, which is just
Amazing.
cool. Good timing,
So
right?
amazing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
amazing. And is there any other resource that you would want to bring forward to today to get to tomorrow?
I've got my eye on that surfboard only because I want to just ride the wave.
Mm,
It's
amazing.
going to be, there are going to be ups and downs. And I like the concept of a wave, that I use that as an image for all the leaders we help and work with. They're always riding a wave, and we don't ever know if it's going to be one that we can stand on or that's going to swallow us. But we have to keep getting back up onto the surfboard and try again.
Oh, I love that. That's a beautiful metaphor. Oh, so then
That was,
this is your model. And so as you look at it, just to spend take a deep breath, and I'll take a picture as well and send this to you. But
yeah.
what's a couple of insights or ahas that you're having as you look at the model now?
A couple of insights. Well, honestly, like, just the gradual addition of all the elements that I now can see this whole picture. Like it took a lot to get to the place I'm at, right? Like, there's a lot in the photo, and all of them have their own roles. All these little, there's the noisy environment, there's the speed bump I got over, there's the people who have helped. And so I guess the phrase, like, it takes a village, is coming to mind for me. And um it's just a picture of something fun. Like, it's exciting because you never know what the next tool is that you might need or who might give it to you. And then conversely or inversely, like, I wonder, we all have people in life that we can give one of these small little pieces to. And it's just a reminder that maybe someone out there in the world, if they build this kind of a scene, who knows if they might pick something that I've helped them with, but we always have that opportunity to give forward to help another person innovate. And it's cyclical, right? So those are a couple of thoughts coming to mind.
Yes, I love like the the idea of intersection and the village, and, people have touched your life and had positive impact, and you're
Yeah.
probably embedded and enmeshed in their story as well as they retell their story to
That's
somebody
the
else.
hope, right? I think that's what we
Right,
all hope we are
right,
doing. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And so from that place, what are a couple of actions that it inspires in you? Just kind of having, literally in our cooking show moment, created
Yeah, the
this.
cooking show moment is like, don't be afraid when you do things that are scary, because there's always going to be something that comes after that that will make it all make sense, right? I'm looking at that
Mm,
construction mark of like the uncertainty I felt in the moment of what to do about my business, or what to do about the book cover I was going to choose, or what to do. And it's like, stay the course, right? Stay the course. The story's not over yet. So just be patient. So the timer is another one that's resonating with me. Like, and if we're going to go with the cooking analogy, like a great chili takes time, the flavors, right? And we're like,
yes.
great chili, right?
Yes. Oh my
People,
gosh.
yeah,
Yes.
people are like great chili. And so are the ideas we bring to our organizations and teams and visions inside our companies. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so fun.
They need the right ingredients, and then you need the right environment for them to
Yes.
cook, and you need to give them the
Yes.
time and the nourishment. So I'm totally with you on the cooking show. Any
I
food
love it.
metaphor I'm with you in,
Yes. Any
for
food
sure.
metaphor
Any
works.
food. Well, thank you so
Yes,
much
well, this
for
is so great. This is so
enjoying
great.
this.
I just want to wrap us up by asking you, Sura, like um like, how what are some of the just some like specific information around like how many team members can do this with you? Like what are you doing when you're seeking out good partnerships to do this with teams? Like, how does this unfold with more than one person when you're in a whole room? I'm imagining that you can do this with teams.
Oh,
Can you give us a
yes.
glimpse of that? I
Oh,
know that you do.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah. How do
we
you do that?
actually just did this last week
Okay.
with a big team, and so with something like this, really depends on the team's objectives, right? And
Yes.
so sometimes I'll work with teams and they're wanting to collaborate better with one another. And a lot of the time, we come at challenges with our own mindset, our own
Mm-hmm.
preferences of how to solve that mindset.
Yeah.
And so I usually kick off with them getting to know their superhero strengths with regards to their mindset.
Oh,
And
I
so
love that.
it's so beautiful. And so we just did this last week, and there was so many epiphanies in the room because,
Yeah.
some people were very high on asking questions and
Mhm.
clarifying, and some people were really good at ideating and connecting the dots, and then some people were really good at developing and tweaking and refining, and others were the
Mhm.
implementers of getting things out the door. And so what was happening in that group is that it was quite stacked with implementers, and there was
Yeah.
only one clarifier and one ideator. And so that was
Oh, that,
creating misunderstandings, constant
yes.
misunderstandings, because the clarifier would want to get the strategy right and do the research and make sure all the details were in place. And the implementers were ready to just get into action. And they
Yep.
were equally important. So starting from a place of, what rose-colored glasses are you wearing in the world? Like
Yep.
when you're given a challenge and it's intense and it's complex and it means something, what do you
Mhm.
rely on? And so we
Mhm.
kind of get that grounding with the team initially so that they understand their preferences, and then they
Mhm.
can collaborate better with one another, and then they can communicate better with one another. And then, there's obviously the upskilling as well, because just because you have a preference, it doesn't mean that you can't build skills. So we'll do some
Right.
skill building.
Absolutely.
Um, and then sometimes we'll work on a challenge together. But if we're not, then this is where this model comes in beautifully, because then
Mhm.
the team is so infused. And, so it's like, so what's next, within your role, within your personal life, where are you today? And then
Yep.
where do you want to go, individually, but also where do you want to go as a team? And so we can
Yes.
kind of have these very complex conversations using this modeling. And, very quickly you can see if they've depicted the team, and, one team member is off in the corner and the other team members are all together. Oh, like, why have you positioned the models in this way? We're able to surface, maybe conversations that wouldn't happen normally,
Yes.
that
Yes.
create that kind of, so by the end, they're leaving as, a team that's able to understand each other and to collaborate and to have action going forward.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
what makes this so exciting.
Well, here's what I've just kind of realized is it's clear that this in the context of red light, green light, I'm hearing a both and. Like the whole exercise you bring, it both identifies for teams what the red lights of risk are and those yellow lights to get them to green. So it both helps them identify that and it helps them get there. Like from, you can pull by the end of the day with a team, you can pull them out of feeling stuck at the red light and feeling in flow at the green light of go with one another by the time they leave the room. And that's kind of a mic drop right there. That's fantastic. And you clearly have great skills, Sura, when it comes to listening, knowing what to probe. Like that is a whole superpower in itself, which I hope people see and understand that that's not like everybody can't do that, that's a special skill set. So
Thank
it
you.
sounds like a very fulfilling place for you.
Oh, so much so. Yes. Thank you so much. And I love the connections that you're making with your model. I that's my favorite place, is seeing the intersections of,
Yes.
it's like this is the truth, right? It's the same saying, it's called something over here, called something else, but like, oh wow, that's amazing. So I'm so excited for teams to get to be able to read your book and implement red light and know where their red lights are and how to move forward out of that. So thank you for sharing that with me as well.
Yes, absolutely. I have a feeling this won't be our last conversation, Sarah.
Yes.
This has been just fantastic. I mean, aside from the fact that I will always have like such joy whenever anyone comes in with an accent from the UK. I'm always excited about that. But no, this idea and the opportunity to watch it in action has been really fun. So thank you for spending some time with us today. Is there anyone in your life that you'd like to share who's helped you along I always ask, like, who's a person you admire from your upbringing or your work journey that deserves a tip of the magic hat?
Oh my gosh, so many people. It takes a village. It really does.
Yes.
I just had a really lovely lunch with a good friend who I used to work with at Disney. And they always say to me, they're like, "You've got this. Like don't ever doubt it. Like why are you stressing? You totally got this." And that always sticks with me because they're so relaxed, and I'm always sort of like, "Oh, but have I considered everything?" Because I'm like the clarifier, and they're like, "You totally have this." I'm like, "Okay, great."
Well, and we really can't figure it all out. It's another insight I've recently had too. Like when I'm helping a client craft their storyline, sometimes I'll go into the meeting thinking I'm supposed to have it all figured out. And without their view of the story, there's no way that I can walk in and say, "Here's your story." And by the time we leave the meeting, I'm like, together, we both created magic, but it was only because we were together. I can't do it for you all. I mean, there are some times when it's easier, but always it requires the thumbprint of my clients to help their stories come to life. I am not them. I can just pull things out of them to craft the magic, but they've got the magic inside of them.
Exactly. Yeah. I think of it as being a container for, a reflection, or a container for the wisdom that's already in them,
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I can have a million ideas under the sun, but it needs to be baked. It needs to be nourished from within, and it needs to make sense to that team.
Yes.
And so, and I can push and I can create, we can help foster a safe climate for, sharing things that can seem, oh my gosh, like, how do we do that? We don't have budget for that, etc. But ultimately the courage is coming from the team, and so that's
beautiful.
That's the container.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. This has been so much fun. Thank you for bringing such brilliance to our listeners and viewers today. I hope everyone got as much out of this as I did. And thanks for letting me be the one at the center who's playing today. That was fun and unexpected.
So much
Thanks so
fun.
much for coming today, Sura. And everybody, please join us again next week for another amazing episode of Red Light, Green Light. Make sure that you are following us at wherever you podcast and share this one with a friend, because there's the more the merrier on this one as well. So thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.